Dua Lipa is here in the studio with us this morning as promoted. Very stylish Dua Lipa. You inspire me, and I don't dress like that, but inspires me to be stylish.
Wow, thank you. I think this leopard print look would look great on you.
Yeah, with the leather jacket and all the rings.
Animal print is very on trend. It is very on trend. And your hair color is also it's blonde and black. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've kept all my normal, like my natural color underneath, and then just went for something different on top.
I love it. It's so unique.
Thank you so much.
Really cool.
I have to. How long? I think this is a guy's point of view, right? How long does it take to color it to make it blonde? Because that would be my biggest
because
issue.
my hair, so it depends. Like if your hair isn't as dark as mine, it would be a lot quicker. But it took me 8 hours.
Wow.
And you sat in those tinfoil things for 8 hours?
I sat in those tinfoil. Well, it was like tinfoil. Then you have to wash it out, and then you do like another treatment of bleach, and then you tone it, and then I went like a month later and went even blonder. So all in all, it was over 8 hours, but it's a process for sure.
Well, the result has worked. Well done. We are going to play some new music from you and talk about that in a second. But you're just coming into a segment after a segment we just did that I want to get your take on this. Okay. So Tanya, to your right, is on a dating app, and it's called Hinge.
Oh, I've heard of Hinge.
So good.
Oh, you love it?
Love.
She's finding a lot of success there.
I love it.
Now, Sissany and I are not on it, but she just gave us like 3 of the standard profile questions that if we were to be on it, we answered these questions. And so with specifics, I'm going to ask you the same 3. I'm curious because I know you don't need to be on it, but I'm just asking you.
Okay.
So the 3 are as follows. The first one, and we answered specifically, was an ideal first date. Now, what's an ideal first date for you? And this is one of the Hinge questions.
My God, ideal first date. I'll
give you my example. I said food sharing. We have to go somewhere and share food, and it's not entrees; it's only appetizers. I want 8 appetizers, and I want to share.
Wow, that is very specific.
And I said I wanted something more like interactive. I love a good, like, I don't know, miniature golf or Dave and Buster's.
See, I love something interactive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
We would not swipe on you.
What?
we wouldn't swipe.
So I would
love something interactive. I would love to. I don't know, go on a trip somewhere. Like I definitely want to find not like trip, but like a drive to somewhere. Like if I was in LA and somebody took me just like down to Malibu and like showed me around or something, somewhere that I didn't know very well. Then
I worry, Julie, in the car all the time with that person on a first date.
But that's so good. You have so much time to. I mean, I could talk for ages. So
right, what would be the next one was a go-to karaoke song, and I said I don't like karaoke, so if you have a go-to song and want to go karaokeing, I wouldn't match with you. So what would you say to that?
Well, I don't really like karaoke, but
what? That's so weird.
I know it's not. It's just not my thing. I
guess you could just sing your own songs and call it that.
But if I was to pick my favorite karaoke song, it'd be "Changes" by Tupac.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, see, that tells you a lot about it right there. All right. Well, thanks for playing. So, 2-time Grammy Award winning Dua Lipa here in the studio. Woo. And that's still thinking back to, I remember seeing your post that night, actually.
Yeah, I remember seeing your post when you got nominated.
Oh, when I cried?
Yes, when you cried.
I was having like a full-blown meltdown, and it was the first time I went Instagram live.
Yes, I was watching and I was crying with you. I was so proud and so happy for you.
Thank you so much.
How did things change or not change from your view once you won those Grammys?
My God. Well, it definitely made me work a lot harder. I think it was that thing when you go into your first record, you have no expectations. You don't know how things are going to pan out. You definitely don't expect by the end of it to have won a Grammy. I don't know. I was just like, okay, pressure's on a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. It really pushed me to just make something that I was just really proud of, and that something that felt really authentic to me. Because I felt like that's what I did with the first record, and I didn't really want to hold back on that aspect.
I just want to play this. Let me take a quick break and come back and play this song because there's so many questions I have about this track and others that are to follow here with Dua Lipa. Back in 1 minute. And Dua Lipa is here in the studio. So I'm about to play Don't Start Now. And Tanya I think she was effusive in saying that she's contributed to 16.2 million streams of this song already.
Exactly.
I listened to it on repeat all of my drive to San Diego. So 2.5 hours, just your song on repeat for 2.5 hours.
Wow.
She's not
sick of it?
I'm still not exaggerating. She really does do this. Like she listens to one song over and over and over again.
This is great. I love that.
The theme to this song is everything I stand for. Like I'm obsessed with it.
Good.
And to break it down on the surface of it at first, it is about getting through something, getting past something, right? A breakup or a person. And I mean, the thing is, like, I hear the song. If I were going through a breakup right now and I were to hear the song, it would get me through. But without the song, I'd be thinking about their perfume and I'd be thinking about the places we used to go have pizza and all the hard stuff that doesn't go away so fast, you know?
Yeah, I think kind of the message that I wanted to portray with this is like it's moving on, finding yourself in like a happier position and being comfortable with that, and you know, just kind of not letting anyone get in the way of your happiness and realizing that you deserve to be happy regardless of whatever the circumstance is. And I feel like that's really important to remember, you know, going through anything in life, is that your happiness should be your number one priority.
And what about your loneliness when you're trying to get to your happiness?
Your loneliness?
Yeah.
Well, it really kind of depends. For me, I have to surround myself with my family and friends. And I think listening to music in general always helps me make me feel not so alone. I think everything that I try and do with my music is always make people feel like, you know, or understand that we all go through the same thing.
Let me play it. It's Dua Lipa on Kiss. It does want to make you move. Like, I just saw the movements in the studio. That's Dua Lipa.
Tanya
Don't start
was going crazy.
She's been practicing a routine.
Was
yeah,
so
she had to take off her coat.
So good.
I do dance routines with my best friend Brad, and we did it like we've been really uninspired lately, and your song brought it out of us.
I
have to say, it's pretty cool though to be able to lip sync the song to the artist as the artist is lip syncing or singing back to you.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. That was really fun. That was exactly how I like imagined my song like being played or listened to. Like I love
and received
that. Like,
by people, right?
Like
it's
I love that. I loved doing that with you guys. That was really fun.
That was fun for us. Are you kidding me?
You know, it is interesting. To that point, do you like when I hear a song, I play a movie in my head to the lyrics? Like there's a show that I see inside. Do you think about what movie people are going to be playing when they listen to your music? You know, the movie in their head? You know what I'm saying? Like the dance floor and all. Like I'm picturing the dance floor, and of course you guys inspired it a little bit by the dancing, but
I mean, yes and no. I think that sometimes how I think about my music is like whatever I do in the studio lives there, and then once I release it, it almost no longer belongs to me.
Right.
So then I like to
That's interesting.
allow people to just make of it whatever they want and like create their own story behind it, and I try not to get too involved in that side of it.
Everyone's got their own story and way to apply the lyrics.
Yeah.
The sound is cool. There's a retro sound to it in a way.
Yeah.
Is it cowbell?
Yeah, it's a cowbell.
It's a cowbell.
I love a cowbell.
That is my favorite
More
part.
cowbell.
More cowbell.
Yeah, it's like it's disco influenced. It's
Yes.
quite nostalgic, and I chose to put this song out first because it really reflects what the rest of the stuff on the album is like.
I'm having a panic attack.
That's very exciting.
Breathe in. 3 short breaths in, 1 long one out. So they'll have some of that disco.
Yeah, so
70s
it's disco.
texture.
Honestly, it's like a dance-sized class.
Oh,
the whole
I
thing.
love you so much.
It's so
I love
the
a
whole
good
thing is
up-tempo
pretty
album.
up tempo. I was playing it to my tour manager, and he's like, "You're literally not going to give yourself a second to breathe when you're on stage." But I'm like, do you know what? I'm ready for it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm so excited. That was one of the things where everybody kept saying, "Oh, there's this crazy pressure with the second album, you know," and I understand that. But when I went into the studio, like all I wanted to do was just to make songs that made me feel good and that made me feel happy. And even if it's like a dance crying kind of song, like by the end of it, I still wanted to be dancing. And it kind of took that pressure off because I was just making music that I just loved and that I was just having fun to. And all the kind of emotions and connotations that I took from it was just a really good feeling. And so I feel good about them.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear your tour manager's point of view, and it makes sense because your tour manager's thinking about this in the context of we're going around the world and you have to survive through all these songs back to back. Like that, I wouldn't even think like that.
Yeah, no, but he was like, you're definitely going to be putting in the work. I was like, look, at least by the end of it, I'll be really fit.
There's the upside. And what about thinking of performances coming up on Sunday? It's live. It's on ABC. It's going around the country. You'll walk or run or whatever it is you'll do out on stage. What can you tell us about what that moment is going to be like before you hit the stage and then what we might see?
Honestly, I get so scared before I do
really?
like live show performances. It's crazy. Like it's crazy because I think that people can see it on camera, but my knees are physically shaking at that point. I'm like, and I'm telling my brain, I'm like, stop, and my legs just like, It just keeps going. But it's like excitement and adrenaline, and I love doing it. It is just scary, but I love it. And I don't know, I've grown a lot more confident, I think, as an artist and as a performer over these past couple of years, just kind of learning myself and learning how I want things to be done. And because I've finished the album and now I have quite a clear sense of what like I want the visual to be and the idea behind the whole record, that it like I've had time to really kind of hone in and plan everything through for all these performances and stuff, which has been really refreshing.
And when are you releasing the rest of the music?
We'll have bits trickling in, but the album comes out next year.
Next year. Mm-hmm. And what your father, who has quite a following, who's a good-looking man.
Hot dad.
He has a following, yeah? Is he eating this up, or is it gone to his head yet?
No, it hasn't gone to his head. I think because me and my siblings like to remind him that he's still just our dad.
Yeah, he is still a dad, right?
So we like to remind him, but it's.
But there must be a lot of pride there.
Of course. It's really cool. It's sweet, and people are lovely about it. So.
Well, I'm so happy to have you come in. We are both the up-tempo songs, and I have a cover of a Sam Smith song that you did on my phone that I jogged to.
That's
just great as well.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful rendition of that song too. I'm not the only one that you did. I love Electricity. We were talking about that too. We love that song as well.
Love
so
it.
fun.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that I got to come down and hang out with you guys. That really made my morning, honestly. I've got like a spring in my step for the rest of the day. I'm like, let's go.
Let's do it. Well, have fun on Sunday. We'll be watching, and your
you.
knees will be fine. Your knees will be just fine,
yes,
all right?
I can't wait. Thank you so much, Ryan. Appreciate it.
With pleasure. Dua Lipa, it's Kiss FM. We're right back.